But hey, you know what? We have. I'm pretty sure. I have a very good feeling we have our guest on the line. So it'll be funny if I do like this quick talk up and bring her on live, and it's not even her. So this could possibly be her. This is the girl who's probably responsible for the best 30 seconds of jumping jacks on YouTube, the blonde baller herself. Let's welcome, hopefully, the one and only Kip Force to Totally Driven Radio.
Hey, what's up?
It's her.
That's a very good
How you doing, Kip?
That's funny. Never heard that one.
So how you doing?
I'm doing good. How are you guys doing?
Good. You know, it's funny. Like, Kip Force was like coming across my Twitter feed a lot. Like for the last year, I kept seeing your name pop up: Kip Force, Kip Force, Kip Force, Kip Force. And then finally, I said, you know what? Who is this Kip Force? And then I start investigating, and I'm like, all right, we got to talk to her because she's involved in everything. Like, you're all over the place between modeling, reality TV. I mean, you got your hands in everything. You're hosting stuff. I see you're an author too. Did I see that right too?
Yes, I do. I have my own book.
What's the book about? Is it about you or?
No, it's about reality television. Like, a lot of people want to know about, you know, the day in the life of reality television. So all the questions that I got asked by fans, I just put it into a book.
No shit. That's I bet you that's very interesting, the questions you were asked.
You have no idea. People just ask, you know, is it real? Is it fake? They ask, you know, were you there for love? Were you not? Are the challenges real on I Love Money? And then my later reality shows, of course, they ask, like, is By Felicia real? Like, stuff like that. So,
right.
So I just tell them, you know, a lot of people ask how you get casted, you know, what a day in the life on a reality set is. So I take you from morning up to morning down on the book, like a 6 a.m. call to, you know, whenever you end at night, and just tell people how it really is on set, you know.
Wow. Now, how many reality shows have you done?
9.
9?
Yes.
Wow. All right, so I know of 2, and I watched the one last night, which was, I guess, your latest one, By Felicia.
Right.
That was a freaking trip. That was a trip.
You know.
Now, with that one, since that I saw that, like, did you know what you were getting yourself into with that?
No, I actually didn't. You know, the casting directors from VH1, you know, when they believe in someone, they'll recycle. You could say recycle them, you know. And so, they called me, they asked me if I would do a reality show for them, and then they really didn't tell me all of it. And then I was like, are you guys serious right now? Because when I got on set, I was like, you guys never, like, told me it was going to be this crazy. But, I mean, it was fun. I can say it was fun. It was crazy, though. Like, they made me look really crazy.
So the end final product, which I was talking about it earlier in the show, it was kind of like a makeover show where they were trying to make you, to be like more professional and business-like.
Right. And I mean, that's something that I've always been. It just, I mean, I told them I could play it well. Like, you know, because a lot of people, what I say is a lot of people, you know, they like good television. And my thing is that on my social sites, you know, I've grown in this industry. I've been in it for 9 years, which is crazy to me. But, you know, a lot of people say, no matter what pictures I post, I could post a picture in jeans and a T-shirt with, you know, a turtleneck on and a jacket, and they're going to be like, she's a hoe, she's this, she's that. Or I could post one completely naked covering nipples, and they're going to say the same thing. So I told them, like, you know, you guys can take me from this, you know, trashy to classy person because I'm that anyway, apparently. Like, it doesn't matter what I do, I'm always going to be that. So, you know, most people they'll get embarrassed, or they'll be like, no, I don't want to act like that, or I don't want to, I don't want to be that person, because it's not a real acting job. Like, it's not like I'm going to play, in the Marvel 5, or, like, it's not like it's
right.
something, a character that I'm playing. Of course, reality TV, people don't know, that's why I put out the book. You are playing a character. It is scripted, but of course it's supposed to be reality. So they, it's like your character gets put into your personal life. I've seen people
right.
in the streets, and they'll be like, oh my God, and I'll be dressed up for, like, a club or something, and I'll be like, oh my God, she was on By Felicia, she learned nothing. And I'm just laughing. I'm like, dude, this is all fake. Like, what are you talking about right now? Like, I'll be like, look at how trashy she's dressed. Because I'm going to a club, of course, I have a big butt, I'll show it, I have boobs, I show them. She learned nothing. I'm like, oh my God, you guys are so funny. Like, okay, like, all right, guys, too much. People take reality TV too much to heart, and it makes me laugh.
Oh, that's funny. That is so funny. Now, when you did that, like, and the finished product, I mean, you look
right.
like a completely different person.
I know, and that's the funny part is, if I went into detail, people would not even believe, like, the producers laugh with me. They're like my best friends. Like, I still talk to my one producer, Lisa, like, probably every other week. And what's funny is I was freaking out because, for a makeover show, usually to make someone look completely different, you have to, like, cut and dye their hair, like, from blonde to black, and, like, do all this crazy stuff. And so they were asking me freehand before the show, like, Kip, do you mind if we just cut your hair into, like, a bob, and we're going to dye it brown? And I was like, yeah, I mind. Like, I was like, you guys are not cutting and dyeing my hair. Like, it's not going to happen. So I, like, freaked out, and I told the producers, and I was like, yeah, you guys can count me out of the show if I really got to do that. So I talked to this producer, and she was like, you know what? Your hair is 18 inches. We're going to put 27-inch extensions in your hair. We're going to make it look like they cut it. And I was like, okay, yeah, no problem. Well, that producer actually ended up getting married like a week before the show. And so when you go to the part where they're trying to really cut my hair, at
right.
first I'm laughing because I'm like, I already talked to the producer. I didn't know this producer had quit because she got married or something. And so they're like, we're going to cut and dye your hair. But I had already talked to the producer about, just cutting the extensions. So I'm like, they're taking out my extensions on the show, and I'm like, they're so silly. Like, how are they going to cut them if they're taking them out? And then the guy with the scissors is, like, really going to cut my real hair. And all that freaking out was not acting. Like, I was freaking out, like, and then finally they had to stop the cameras, and I explained to the producers, like, dude, I already talked to, Jeannie, and she told me that I didn't have to cut my hair, that you guys were going to cut my extensions. And so they didn't know, so then I put the extensions back in, and they cut my hair and curled them really tight to make my hair look really short. And then I told them, of course, I always wear eyelashes, so let's, go without eyelashes for the finale so that it just looks completely different.
Right.
But, like, some of that, like, I really was like, that was for, people were really like, that's really you right now freaking out. And I was like, they really didn't tell me that they had no idea. Like, these people were really going to come at me and really cut my hair and, like, change my life. And I was like, oh, my God, you guys are really tripping right now. Like, so they made me look completely different by just doing opposites. Like, I told them short hair, no eyelashes, no tan. Even though they spray tanned me, it didn't. I washed it off, and then they dyed my roots. So
now the funny thing is too. I mean, like, if nobody saw that episode, you have to go back and watch it because she's not BSing. Like, when they were trying to cut her hair, like, I thought she was going to have a heart attack. Like, you were freaking out.
And that was real. That was not fake. I was really about to have a heart attack because you got to remember, like, like you said when you introduced me today, you're like, we have on the show Blonde Baller. And it's like people go with signatures. And it's like Cindy Crawford and her mole, Nicki Minaj and her butt, like Kim Kardashian and her, her butt, her boobs, like her signature eyebrows. And so I'm like, I'm Blonde Baller. Like, I'm not changing my hair for a show because when I go out and I do bookings, when I go out and I do club appearances, when I go out in public, like, people recognize me because I'm blonde. I have big boot like Blonde Baller. Like, they're not going to be like, oh, she cut her hair brown and dyed it. And, I was like, no, I'm not doing that. You're taking away my signature. Like, that's what people recognize me as. So when they were trying to cut my hair, I was really freaking out. Like, I really didn't know that they had no communication with the lady who I had talked to. You know, she had quit the night before, so I was really freaking out. Like, I was really about to just be like, forget this show, I'm out, bye. Like, I wasn't playing.
Now, how about when they sent you, like, on, like, what was it, like a job interview type thing?
I mean, all that was really, like, not real. You know, that the makeup guy, he really owns a store in Los Angeles, Mud Makeup, and I really use it. I really like his makeup. I talked to him after. His name's Chip. But it wasn't a real job. Like, there wasn't, you know, there wasn't really anything in that. He was just trying to get exposure for his makeup, which is amazing, Mud Makeup. But, you know, some people don't know that when you go on reality TV, you know, things are gleeked, which is in my book. And when I say gleeked, like, I'm addicted to Red Bull, but when I was on Real Chance of Love, they were sponsored by Pepsi. So Red Bull is a Coca-Cola product. So I could not have Red Bull on set. So what they have to do is they call gleeking it, and it's where they put black tape all over it. And that guy who interviewed me, usually you would have to pay him to be on the show as an actor, but instead he was like, can I put Mud Makeup on here? And it's like a win-win. Like, he doesn't get paid, and then his brand gets exposure because it's on VH1. So that's where that came in. It wasn't like he was, you know, like a real person looking for a real person to work for him.
Now, you mentioned Kim Kardashian, and in this episode you mentioned quite a few times, like it sounds like she's kind of like your idol. Like, you really want to model yourself after her and be a businesswoman like her.
I mean, yes and no. You know, in my phone, I have a meme that I got from Instagram, and it says, you know, just so you know, Kim Kardashian took a betrayal of a man's trust and made it into a multi-million-dollar company. And that's what I put as my screensaver. Because my thing is, some of the things Kim Kardashian does, no, I don't approve of. Like, I'm not going to sleep with a million guys to get, you know, to the top or whatever, you know, and you know, people just think of a couple like, oh, Reggie and Chris Humphries. It's like, no, she was married at 16 or 18 to that producer, and, you know, and then she dated Nick Cannon, and then she dated Nick Lachey when Jessica and him broke up. Like, she's dated a lot of people, and so each one gave her more of a name. Which, no, I don't want that. I don't want people to be like, oh, there goes Kip and she dated 19 people that I know. Like, no. But then again, you know, I got to respect her in a sense that she does not what I do, because, of course, I don't have, you know, Dash and the Kardashian brand behind me, but she was a model, and she turned it into a multi-million-dollar company. So, yeah, in a way, I would love to take having a big butt and big boobs and turning that into, you know, a respectable multi-million-dollar corporation where people show up to see you for, you know, for you. But, no, the things I'm willing to do to get there are probably not the same morals. So, in a sense, yeah and no.
Well, have you seen her now? Now she's trying to be the blonde baller like you, because now she's got blonde hair.
I saw that the other day. I was like, okay. You know what? I think the haircut more looks like her mom's. You know, like when I was looking at the blonde, I was like, wow, she resembles her mom a lot now with the hair like that. You know, I think of Kim Kardashian, I think of long, pretty brown hair extensions. Like, it's not it looks bad on her, but I'd probably switch it back. I think she's trying to pull off the Posh Spice, and it's not working.
It's not working. Yeah, I'm not digging the blonde on her at all. It's not.
Me either. She looks so much like her mom. I was like, oh, it's just making her look older, but you know, her hair brown and long is very pretty.
Wow, absolutely. Now, all right, so 9 reality shows. Run down some of the other shows you've done.
Okay, I did Real Chance of Love, I Love Money, Charm School 5. I did a show that people probably don't know about. It's called Beautiful People. It was on VH1. It's also a website now. It's like datingprettypeople.com. The producers had called me, and it was a reality show called Beautiful People. Of course, I was on 2 episodes of Millionaire Matchmaker, the Bravo with Coco Undercover Celebrity, the By Felicia, and then I consider it reality television, but it I started as a case girl on Deal or No Deal, so I think that's more of reality television.
Check that out. Now, Real Chance of Love, I used to watch that. All those from the initial one with Flavor Flav and all the spin-offs.
Me
all
too.
Those were just classic friggin' hysterical reality TV shows. And now, was it Real? I guess was he the one that just passed away?
Yeah, not last Tuesday, the Tuesday before his funeral was the 4th.
Yeah. Now, had you guys been in touch at all this time, or?
Yeah, actually, what people don't know is that Real was actually like a really, really good person. I did a red carpet event for him with him for Coconut Water 2013, and we got to talking, and I got his number. I texted him about probably like 6 to 8 months ago, and I was like, I just heard, that you had colon cancer. Like, are you doing okay? And he was like, yeah, I'm doing great, and like really recovering. And so, I mean, I sent him a couple like texts, and we text back and forth. But what people really don't know is, I got to know him a lot on the show, more than people would realize, because like if people picked up, my book, they know we have a lot of time to get to know these guys. And it's crazy because he actually was the exact same person that he was on the show. Like, he's very caring, he's very compassionate. I remember, I got caught up one time. It's reality television. You're not really there for love. It's a check. You get a paycheck. You're a character. You need, just play your role. But I remember I got
You're there
so
for a paycheck.
mad. No, you are. And I got so mad. Like, one day I remember we were at the club and I got mad. We were at a club date. And I just remember freaking out. And, he took me aside and he was like, Kip, like, calm down, like, and he talked to me about it, and he was like, you want to go have a drink? Like, and I was like, yeah. And it wasn't on camera. This is, the cameras were inside. And I was just about to walk off set. I was so pissed off. And Real was like, no, like, calm down. Like, Kip, this isn't real. Like, relax. And I got to talking to him, and he's like, do you want me to give you a real chain? Like, and I remember talking to, my friend Sassy, like, you think I should take a real chain? Which was really uncomfortable for me, because Sassy was my best friend on and off the show. And she told me, if you take a real chain, then I know all your secrets. And she was like, I'm going to expose them. Like, you know what I mean? This is a game. We're here to win. And the thing was, I really didn't want to go there with Sassy, because she had some really dark secrets that I knew, and I told her some things about myself. So I was like, that's not a good idea. But, if it wasn't for her, I probably would have switched, because he was such a sweet person, and he was just a really, really good, good guy. And so I talked to Chance this last week and the week before. We've been talking a lot, and I just, I know he's really devastated as well. And Real was just like a really, 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 really good guy. Like, he really was.
Yeah, I mean, it came across, at least to me, on the show, that Real did seem like a real good guy, and Chance was like a shady character.
Yeah, that's the thing. Chance and I really didn't get along off the show. We didn't text, we didn't talk, we didn't anything. And then when Real passed away, I decided to DM him, and I was like, Chance, are you okay? And he's like, I could really use a hug. And I was like, no, I understand. And I didn't like Chance off the show, but I mean, that's his brother, and I respected Real. So I know that, Real would respect any of the girls, trying to make Chance feel, better. So I did that more out of respect for Real than anything, because I don't really favor Chance like that, but definitely, like, we're out of respect for Real, because I could not make it to the funeral. I wanted to, but I could not. And so I was like, let me just make sure Chance is okay, because I know that, Real's really, he would respect that.
Right. Now, people, I mean, when they look at you, they're probably not going to, first off, know this or even think this, but you went in high school, you graduated with honors, then you went on to Cal State University, and you had a basketball scholarship. You graduated top of your class with a 3.8 GPA, and you were also a double major in criminal justice and psychology.
Right.
So you went through all that schooling, a kick-ass student, And how did you end up going the route that you've taken of model, reality star?
You know, I kind of just I wanted to be like this aspiring lawyer, and it wasn't really my passion, it was more my dad's. And then, you know, graduating top of my class, high school graduating top of my class, college, you know, people always say there's a triangle, and it's, you know, social life, good grades, and, you know, wealth. And they're saying in order to have those, one of them has to give, you know. So it's like either you have wealth and social life, or social life and good grades, but something always has to suffer. And so I was never, you know, it's crazy because, you know, the guy, you know, that I was talking to before, he was like, you know, you were probably this or that in college. And I was like, what's crazy is you could check any of my references. Like, I was just a dork in college. Like, I was like, no, I can't go out, I got to study, and I can't go out, I got to study. And so it was ironic that, you know, my friend, who actually is in the very first page of my book, I dedicated it to him. His name was B. Clark. He passed away of lung cancer at 26. And before he passed away, he's the one that when I was actually on the show, I got the phone call that he passed away. And he told me, like, Kip, all you do is study. Like, you know, I got this opportunity to be on the show through a girlfriend of mine, and he was like, go. And I was just like, no, I have to take my finals. And he was like, everything else will fall into place. Like, just go, be on the show, like, just go. And I was like, all right, like, you know, and he was like, just take it from me, like, life is so short, like, you just need to go. And so when I got on the show, you know, of course I'm thinking it's all real and I'm there for love, and, you know, I'm totally just this innocent girl. And then when I got off, you know, I tell people the industry just swallows you whole, and it's just like, you get off and you got to keep up with the other girls. And I didn't have any social networks. Like, it's so crazy. When I went on the show, I was talking to the girls when I was, you know, on my downtime. And this one girl was like, I was on the cover of Dynasty series. That was Hot Wings. And then, you know, this girl, Classy, was like, oh, I shot the cover of King magazine with Akon. And I was like, what the hell? I was like, all of you girls have, like, modeling pictures and stuff? And they're like, yeah, you're not a model? And I was like, no. Like, I'm straight. Like, I actually missed my college graduation to be here, like, you know. And I'm just sitting here like, the hell, like, no, you guys are professionals. So, you know, the fact that I didn't know about the industry, I probably could have won the show if I had known, but I thought I was really there for love. I put my feelings in it. Like, I didn't know. And so when I got off the show, I was like, you know, I want to do this. Like, this is challenging to me. Like, keeping the girls on the show, like, keeping up with them was challenging to me. And so I guess, like, book smart and stuff always came easy. So I was like, I want to do this. I want to be a model. I want to be the best model. I want to be the model that's on every magazine cover. I want to be the model that's on a million reality shows. And they used to tell me, like, you can't cross over. When you're on one reality show, you can't go on to another. Bravo's not going to let you on the network if you're a VH1 person. VH1's not going to let you on MTV. MTV's not going to let you on Oxygen. And I remember telling them all, like, okay, watch me. And now, you know, I've been on Oxygen, I've been on Bravo, I've been on VH1, I've been on MTV, I've, you know, written a book, I've done this cover and that cover and this cover of this magazine, and they tell me, you know, you're white, so you can't host at the black clubs, and I've hosted at the black clubs and hosted at the white clubs, and it's just, when anybody tells me I can, I'm like, okay. So I guess it was just that passion. Like, I was just like, no, this is something that I can't conquer, you know, in real life without this one in a million opportunity, and so I'm just going to take it to the top, like, extreme. Whatever I have to do, I'm taking it to the top.
So, all right, so you took it to the extreme. Now, is that when you went and got your, because, I mean, you said it in By Felicia, that you had your butt done.
Right. Yeah, and a lot of people, you know, it's crazy because a lot of people on my Instagram are like, you know, I get a million comments a day, and they're like, your butt's fake, your butt's fake, your butt's fake, and I'm like, yeah, we've discussed this. Like, it is just crazy to me. I'm sitting here like, you guys are commenting on mine, but I've already said this. So, I mean, I laugh. Like, and what people don't realize is, no, I don't think that the average girl on, you know, who works the 9 to 5 at McDonald's or 9 to 5 at a nursing job, or I don't think the girl next door, or you know, if I had a little sister, no, I don't think that somebody should go out and do that to themselves. And, you know, I had a long talk with my family about it, but the thing is, every day when you show up to a photo shoot or a commercial, or you show up to, you know, a video. I've done, you know, music videos. It's like you're competing with these other girls who, when you're in, it's just like, as you know, if you're a doctor and you buy like a, you know, a stethoscope, and you got to buy the white coat, and you got to buy everything else. Like, you cannot show up to a photo shoot with no butt and no boobs, and no, you can't do that. You just can't. Like, you're not going to go anywhere in this industry. And I hate to say that. That's horrible. But think of the top models in the industry. Think of Coco.
Right.
Think of Kim K. Think of, you know, Miracle Watch. Think of Delicious. Like, do you think, like, oh, these are beautiful girls with really talented brains? Or do you think, like, wow, she's got a really big ass, she's got really big boobs, she's, you know, got pearly white teeth, her hair is always done? Like, I hate that when people say, like, you know, oh, well, you know, you did this. It's like you have to for this industry. And I'm one of those people. What's crazy is in my book, I wrote that in 2012, and I have a whole chapter on how it's horrible and nobody should ever go through plastic surgery and you shouldn't have to change yourself. And I tell people all the time, like, ignore that in my book, because you get to a breaking point when you hear photographers say, you could be so pretty, you could be so much better, but you don't have this, this, and this, and this. And if you got the money, you're going to go get it.
Right. Now, you said you talked to your family all about this, and you said your family was really kind of like the ones that really pushed you for all that schooling. So what was their feelings when you turned around and told them, I'm going to get my ass done? You know what I mean? Like,
well,
how did they take to all that?
Yeah, my dad was, like, not talking to me forever. And, you know, my mom's the type of person where she's just like, whatever you want to do to make you happy. That's always how it's been. But my sister was the kicker. You know, she's the one who's like, my mom got cancer when I was really young, so, you know, she's in and out of it. But my sister's the one who raised me, and she's the one who was like, you know what, Kip? If you were going in through law school, I would look at you and say, you know what, this is so unnecessary. But she was like, I know you call me every day, and I know you're depressed about this and that, and I know you've done a million squats, and I know you've gotten on every diet under the sun, and I know you've gotten the butt pads. I mean, people laugh. Like, I used to, you know, wear butt pads, and it's like, wow, well, I'm in the industry. Like, I'm just being real with you right now. Like, in the little inserts, like, all the girls, that's what I'm saying. If I knew what I knew now, the girls on Real Chance Club, when the cameras were off, what you guys really didn't see was all of them were pulling out their butt pads. They all had these little things that went on their butt to make the butt lifters. I mean, they had corsets, like the waist trainers on under. Like, they had the gel inserts into their boobs. And if I had known that, I was like, damn, I just look natural, you know, on this show, because I don't know about this. And so it's just like they're taking their body. They all had extensions. I had no extensions in. I was 100% natural on Real Chance Love. And so I'm like looking at these girls, and that's why on I Love Money, you know, I hadn't gotten surgery, but I was like, let me put my extensions in. Let me put these eyelashes on. I didn't have eyelashes on Real Chance, but like, I'm sitting here just completely natural, not knowing anything. And, you know, my sister was just like, if you were at a regular job, I would tell you you're an idiot. But she's like, that's what you need to do to make your money. And I get mad at myself, because if I would have done it sooner, I probably would have already been where, you know, Kim K's are, where, you know, Britannia from Rockalev, she got her boobs and butt and waist and everything done, and she has a multi-million-dollar clothing company with 187, and it's just like, if I would have started younger, I probably would have gotten farther. So I get mad at myself actually that, you know, I cared so much what people had to say that I didn't get it done sooner.
So when you, all right, let's, because you said you were depressed beforehand. So after you had all the work done, and then you started doing all the modeling jobs, and I guess you were probably looked at with more, you know, more, what's the word I'm looking for?
Scrutiny?
No, not scrutiny, because you were saying, like, you know, they would say to you, if you had this or had that, and then you had it, so now they're looking at you in a better way for the modeling and the pictures and all that. Afterwards, were you more confident about yourself in doing all these different projects?
Oh, yeah. After, like, now, like, you know, it's so funny because, you know, my manager hit me up today, and he was like, you know, you have a photo shoot with this sneaker company, and the sneaker company does magazines with, like, implied girls. So you have sneakers on but really nothing else, and then you do the implied modeling. And he's like, you know, make sure you're working out, make sure you're this, that. And I'm sitting here like, dude, like, put me on a photo shoot tomorrow and I'm ready. You know, I just shot with Jam-Ax photos with the Bulls uniform and the Stax magazine cover. that I have on my website right now, or my Instagram, the 2 new pictures, or I put like 8 of them up. But the funny thing is if you talk to Jam Max photography, you know, I walked in there and he was looking at me and I was like, I was busted. I didn't have extensions. I didn't have anything. And I was like, I'm confident right now. I'm confident that what people don't know is I shot that kitchen picture that I have on my Instagram. I shot it in a kitchen that we weren't even supposed to shoot in. And I literally have makeup on, but I did my own hair. I don't have it. And I deleted it, but I had put it up from the photographer. He got me those pictures in 3 hours. And I was like, how did you do that? And he's like, I didn't have to Photoshop you at all. And that's the thing. I just have to wait months for a photographer to get back to me with my pictures because they had to put the butt on me, or they had to put the boobs on me, or they had to bring the waist in on me, or they had to. And now, I mean, if you go onto that photographer that I tagged and asked him, he'll tell you that she looks exactly how she looks in the photos, which he said most models don't. And he's like, I did such minimal Photoshop on you. He's like, I smoothed, because of course I had a spray tan. And he's like, I had to smooth out your spray tan because, you know, you were looking crazy, like uneven, you know. And I was like, yeah, because there was some places that I was working out, so I had sweated off my spray tan. But I had that text message up because he was like, I got them to you in 3 hours because, and all of them, like all of those pictures were to me in 3 hours because he's like, I really didn't have to do anything. And that's what I tell people now. I'm ready now. Like, I don't not have confidence now. Like, you could throw me in a photo shoot tomorrow, and I know I will nail that photo shoot, which is something that I did not have 5 years ago.
Look at you. Good for you. Now, and also, too, like, when you did that, I mean, did you kind of look at it as almost like an investment as well?
I think it is an investment. You know, some people say, you know, I got a nice car, I put rims on it, I got a tint job. And I'm sitting here like I did the same thing, I just did it to my body. I got rims, I got new tires, and I got, you know, a tint. What do you want me to say? Like, it's on my body. You know, when people say, that's my car, I own it. Well, this is my body, I own it. So, you know.
Oh, that's freaking awesome.
I tell people that, I'm like, what do you mean you bought your hair? Like, you know, girls be like, this is all my hair, I bought it. And I'm like, yeah, this is my body, I bought it. What do you want me to say? Like, it's mine.
All right, well, how about, like, going back to By Felicia, at one point they were asking you, like, about your upkeep. And you were totaling everything up, and it turns out it's like $6,500 a month just on your upkeep.
You know what's so funny? I love the producers. You know what's so funny is, you know, they want everything to be so extreme. And if you know me, like if you knew, most of my photos and videos and YouTube is me and my friend Courtney. And she'll tell you, I am the most minimal upkeep person, and they just put these outrageous numbers like, yes, I spray tan. My membership is $50 a month. And they were like, let's just say $50 a day. And I was like, what? I'm like looking at them, and then, you know, I drive, it's paid off, but, you know, I drive a 2014 Honda Civic. I've always drove a Honda. I love Hondas. You know, the Michael Kors bag that I had on the show, it was a gift given to me by my ex on my birthday. But he'll tell you, like, I hate purses. Like, I probably have not worn that purse since the show, and it's not to keep it cute. It's because I really don't care. And I told him that. Like, I'm not a Louboutin. Most of my outfits either come from, like, Rainbow or, like, these little in-the-mall clothing stores, or they'll get sent to me by people who want me to promote it on my website. You know, I get my nails done before shoots, but usually I have them off because I still play basketball. So they're always breaking when I play basketball. And then on top of that, you know, I get my hair done by my friend Tasha, and it's $80, and it's usually every 3 months that I actually get my roots done. And I no longer wear extensions, so I tell people, like, my upkeep is so minimal. They just wanted to put that over the top. I guess it was just like the change. Like, you're gonna downgrade yourself, right? And I'm like, okay, but I mean, I'm really not an expensive person. That's just so funny. Like, my dad was even like, wow, like, that's you? That's crazy. You're the girl who I can't get out of the same sweatpants for 5 days in a row at the house. Like,
yeah, my head was spinning. Like, they're counting all this stuff up. I was like, holy shit.
My head was spinning too. I was too. I was like, oh, okay, we're going to really make this look crazy, right? Like, yeah. And what's crazy is, like, anyone I've ever dated, you know, they hit me up like, when did you start? And I was laughing. I was like, you guys know that's not me. Like, the most expensive thing I spend a habit on is, I told you, I'm addicted to Red Bull. And other than that, I really don't have habits. I was thinking that today. I actually went to the grocery store today, and I was thinking, wow, like, I have not spent anything on my card in, like, 6 days. That's crazy to me. Like, I'm just like, I had $60 cash, like, that I had gotten, $60 cash, and I was like, for the last, like, 4 or 5 days, I literally spent my cash today because of course, I wanted to cook tonight. And I'm like, dang, and it's just funny because I was thinking that in my head. I was like, I haven't spent, like, anything in, like, 4 days. And then, all of a sudden I was thinking about the show, and I was like, damn, they made me just look like I was just this money chick. That's crazy. Like,
oh, they totally
that's
did.
nuts. Oh, I know, and it's okay. Like I said, like, they need someone with, a backbone who's able to, take the ridicule. And they told me, you're going to be our first show, and you're going to be the one on the billboards, and we're going to, people were sending me, there's a video if you Google by Felicia, and it's on People Magazine did it. And if you click the video, it's a video that was not seen on the show, but it's like, where I tell people, like, I show my boobs because most of the time I meet people face forward, like, and I'm telling people, like, they're sitting me like, you look so dumb. Like, they'll hit me with that video, and I'm like, and then my real friends are like, oh, my God, you're so funny. Like, like, you played that so well. Even my dad was like, you did a great job looking retarded, because I know how to go into the interview. I know how to act. Like, I did 1 year at Southwestern Law School in L.A. Like, you don't get into law school because you go into a, interview and say, like, oh, my God, hi. Like, no, I know how to act. My dad's a prestigious doctor. Like, he told me how to talk when I was little. I'm not going to be, like, in front of someone and making myself look dumb.
That's funny. That is so freaking funny. So, all right, so you said you still play basketball, but you were playing in a lingerie basketball league at one time?
Yes, Team Glam in Los Angeles. It was fun, yeah. I mean, sometimes you just want to get out and you just still want to have fun, so I mean, yeah, it's lingerie, but come on now. I'm 5'3". I'm not going to the WNBA anytime soon. So it's just like, why not? The girls get together, all the funds that, are raised for that either pay for the uniforms or go to charity. So I'm like, why not? Let's just go out here and ball out. And I mean, it's not real lingerie, but they call it lingerie. It's sports bras that are cut down in the middle, and then there's, booty shorts, and it's just like, it's not really lingerie. It's not like we're out there in thongs, but I mean, it was fun. I mean, it's fun. We get to wear sneakers. I mean, it's still basketball. If people watch that, it's just like the lingerie football league, except we don't have pads, and they really go hard.
You know what? Yes, they do. There was a Philly team, the Philadelphia Passion. I went and saw one of their games, and they do. I mean, they were hitting hard. I couldn't believe it. Yeah.
Oh yeah. They have the Los Angeles, I forget what they are, the LA Temptations. That's what they are. And my friend played for them. She's the captain. And she's like, oh, I got to get knee surgery. And she was like, they knocked my knee around. And I'm like, what do you mean around? And then she shows me a picture, and her kneecap is actually, like, behind her knee. And I was like, oh, my God, I'm going to throw up. Like, her kneecap got knocked all the way in back of her leg. And I was like, wow, I'm really grossed out right now. And it's just like, yeah, they play hard.
Yeah, they do. Yeah, they. I'm telling you, I was blown away. I couldn't believe it.
Oh yeah, it's the same for basketball. There's girls on the team who was like 6'5", 6'6", and yeah, they come down with elbows, and they come down swinging, and they come down rebounding the ball and swinging their arms. Yeah, they come down hard.
Well, I mean, you got to be a damn good freaking player though to be 5'3" and get a scholarship.
I mean, yeah, exactly. If you guys, anyone came to the Venice Beach games, they'd know. Like, I mean, yeah, it's funny too because, being in LA, some people. So there was a couple at the time. There was a couple Lakers players that I knew and a couple Clippers players that I knew, and they came to the games and they would laugh. They're like, dude, you're like this little beast, like this little beast on the court, and I'm like, yeah, like. Yeah, I can play. People say I can't, but I'm like, dude, I'm definitely not scared,
So I guess what you're saying is with the whole By Felicia, you like walked off the set, you went home, and that whole remake and restyling of you was out the window.
Oh yeah, definitely. Yeah, once I was done with the show, I walked off and I had a drink. Actually, that night I had a drink with my producer at club. What was it? It's Toxic in the Day, whatever it is, at night. And we went out. I mean, and I was wearing like short shorts and like short t-shirt. Like, nah, it's just for fun. Like, people don't realize that reality television is not real. There's things that I could point out on every show whenever I watch it, and I'll just start laughing. Like, you know, I don't even watch reality TV anymore because I think it's so bogus. But I remember my roommate Court. She made me watch this episode 11 Hip Hop, and I was like, all right, I'll watch it just because. And so I could only watch like 10 minutes of it. It just made me like, what? And I just couldn't watch it. But there's this girl. I don't know if you follow it. There's this one girl, and she dates somebody. And then another girl came up, and she was like, are you moving out? And she was like, yeah, I'm moving out. And she had, like, the U-Haul there. And she was like, yeah, I'm moving out. And then I was watching this episode, and I was like, all right. And so my friend Courtney's, like, explaining it to me, like, well, this girl, they live together, and, you know, she's making her move out because she slept with her man. I don't really – it was that rapper with the teardrop, whatever his name is. Anyway, I guess he was sleeping with both of them. And so I'm watching it. And she's like, yeah, I'm moving out. And then all of a sudden she, like, throws this box in the U-Haul, and she, like, shuts the U-Haul, and she's like, you know, starts fighting with this girl. And from what it looks like, this one girl was really trying to swing on her because they kind of cut it, and I could see that the producers had pulled them apart, and one girl's hair was all messed up, but you couldn't see. Then I'm looking at it, and I told Courtney, I was like, so this girl got a U-Haul, and there's only one box in it. And then if you look, there are no boxes in back of the two boxes that are in front. And so also she was carrying her box, and she just, like, threw it in the U-Haul. So I told Courtney, like, either she's the strongest woman in the world, or there was nothing in that box and there's nothing in the other boxes, and they pulled them forward to make it look like the U-Haul was full. And I was like, why wouldn't she just put the three boxes there in the U-Haul in her car? And it's just like, it's for effect. Like, she really did not live there. She really was not moving out. Like, if you look in the U-Haul, there's only 3 boxes in the U-Haul. And I'm sitting here like, do people not catch this stuff on reality television? Like, usually when you move a box out of your house, like, it's heavy, you can't breathe. She's, like, talking and breathing at the same time, and then she just, like, manly chucks this box with one arm, like, into the U-Haul. And I'm like, does anyone catch, like, nobody watches this stuff? Like, this is so fake. Nobody sees that this U-Haul is just, there's nothing in it. And so
I mean, what you're saying is, like, it's kind of ruined your whole TV enjoyment of reality TV.
Oh, yeah. That's what I was saying. I was watching the show, like, this chick really never lived here because she has 3 boxes, and you don't even need a U-Haul to move 3 boxes, and she has a car, and, you know, and then, it ruins it. I remember I was watching a Kardashian episode, and then Kim had lost her earring in the water, and what's crazy is when you watch, if you watch it, she goes from dry to wet to dry. If you watch it, like, the way it cuts, I'm laughing because it's like, she's like, oh, my God, I lost my earring. And she's, like, wet. And then it cuts to her, and she's, like, says something, but she's totally dry, and her hair's done. Like, and then all of a sudden she's like, but I found it now, and she's wet again. And I was like, does anybody else catch this, like, small stuff on this show? So you can totally tell it was planned. Like, she never lost her earring. Like, the producers were like, hey, we need to do this, what's called a pickup shot, and we need you to say that you found your earring. But we had already dried you off for this next scene, but we needed you to do this other part. Like, I don't know. It's just funny. I just watch these things, and I'm like, dude, I can't watch the reality TV anymore. It's just so, it's such just bullshit. That's why I laugh. I'm like, okay.
Now, how about do you watch or ever watched one of my favorite shows, Mob Wives?
No, but I heard it's funny. I heard that is a funny show, and I heard those ladies are really, like, what I've heard, you know, because reality people talk, I've heard that those ladies are really about that life. Like, I hear that they are really, 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 like, about that life. That's what I've heard.
Oh, yeah. We've had one of the girls, she's from Philly, and we've had her on a couple times, and we've become friends, and, yeah, it's quite interesting.
Yeah, I heard about them. I was like, yeah, you ask around, you want to know, you talk to people, and I'm just like, yo, have you heard that show, Mob Wives? I remember that, and I was talking to someone, they're like, dude, those girls are really crazy. Like, they really dated these people that are really about this life. And I'm like, wow. Okay, it reminds me of that show. Remember that show back in the day where all three children looked like Pauly D? What was that show? You know what I'm talking about?
Growing Up Gotti.
Yes.
Yep.
Yes. That's exactly right. Like that's what those girls remind me of. And I know their mom was really about that way. That's
funny. That is funny.
Yeah.
So, all right, so now what are you working on? Is there anything you're working on now? Any shows? What do you got planned for?
A couple shows. My manager's talking to a couple networks about, doing my own show or doing a collaboration on, Oprah's network. I'm talking to Revolt TV right now, Diddy, about doing some things with Revolt TV. Talking to Smooth Magazine, trying to get February's cover for Smooth Magazine for next year. They shoot so far in advance, but that's a magazine that I've been wanting. But other than that, just of course club hosting and just that's mainly it, just club hosting and working on these shows.
Any more books in your future?
I'm probably going to revamp my old book and change a lot and then resell it because some of the things in there are just not correct. That's why I really don't push it anymore. There's a couple things in there.
Any more jumping jack videos?
Yeah, definitely. I'm going to start a YouTube channel. A lot of people have asked me, so I'm going to definitely start one.
Yeah, I don't know why you don't. There's like one girl, I guess she's calling herself like the world's greatest twerker or whatever, and she's like making a 6-figure salary a year doing.
Oh, you're talking about Jessica?
Yes, her.
She's one of my good friends. I have her on my page. We just ate Chili's together like 3 weeks ago.
Oh, that's funny. See, now you got to tell her to do the show. She never answered me.
Okay, I'll tell her. Jessica Vanessa. Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it's crazy. I mean, she's according to her, what she says, she's making a good living doing all these twerking videos.
Yes, she is. That's very true. She's a very, very sweet person too. She's amazing. She's a really good person. Yeah.
That's awesome. All right, very cool. This has been fun.
Yeah, definitely.
Were you scared not knowing what to expect?
No, never am. Like I told you, I'm a very honest and brutal person, so I can take either really nice people or I can take really mean people. Either way, I'm good.
Yeah, I mean, again, like I said, you would look at you and, like I said, you would think, all right, she's this blonde, maybe possibly dingbat, but you're this real smart person, and you have this plan, and you're going and doing your plan, and you're happy, and that's the bottom line. You're happy what you're doing, and you're confident.
Yeah, definitely. I am.
That's awesome. Good for you. I'm proud of you, Kip.
Thank you.
All right, so let's promote all your things that you do have out there, so people can find you.
Okay. Definitely check me out on my website, www.mykipforce.com. I have nice posters and pictures up there. They're good for lockers and, of course, your room. Follow me on Instagram at KipForce1. My other one got deleted, so I had to change that. Facebook.com/KipForce. Twitter, of course, verified at KipForce. I do Vines a lot, so at KipForce on Vine, verified. And, of course, the new and upcoming, follow me on Snapchat, Real Kip Force.
So you're all over the place. Here you go. Here's something you should look into, and it just hit me.
Mm-hmm.
And it's a big world, and a lot of girls are making a lot of money from it. Cosplay.
Cosplay?
Cosplay.
I never heard of it.
Where I'm going to send you over a couple girls, their sites and all. And, I mean, they do, like, the comic book convention circuit, and they dress up, like, they'll have different, like, outfits, like a Supergirl outfit or this outfit, very revealing, and they have, like, these huge followings, and that's what they do. They're, like, each week, they're in a different town at one of these conventions, and they're making a killing.
I would love to get into that.
There you go. I'll send it
Let
over
me know.
to you.
Definitely send me over. Okay,
I will.
perfect.
I will. You know what you do? Just look up Ivy Doom Kitty.
Okay. Send me the information. Send me all of that.
I will.
Okay, thank you so much.
And, all right, just before I let you go, if you can just cut an ID for me. This is Kip Force, and you're listening to Totally Driven Radio.
Okay. This is Kip Force, and you're listening to Totally Driven Radio.
Awesome. Kip, thanks so much. You're part of our family.
Thank you.
Now. This has been exciting.
Yeah, definitely. Thank you so much.
Cool. You got it. We'll keep in touch, and when you're promoting stuff,
yeah,
let me know.
Definitely.
We'll bring it back on. All right?
Okay, perfect. Okay.
All right. Take care and have a good one.
You too. Thank you.
Bye. All right, everybody, there she goes, the one and only Kip Force. And she is everywhere. All social medias, everywhere. Oh, look, I'm sorry. Mike was on there, and I forgot to get Mike on the thing. And Kip hung up. Sorry, Mike. Here, Mike hung up.